Well, good morning, 1 Million Cups. I'm Barbara Dawson with Purple Mulch, and it's my pleasure to introduce Emmanuel, who will be doing a presentation for us today about an app he's creating to bring his community together. And so please give a warm welcome to Emmanuel.
Good morning.
Morning.
Right. I was told that the community here has a listening ear that I can tell my story. And that was why I came. So I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to come here to tell my story this morning. My name is Dr. Emmanuel Asonye, and I am a professor, a researcher. I'm a linguist by training. I have had an extensive training on language documentation, including signed and spoken languages. That's what I've been doing for the past 10, 11 years. I started working in Nigeria as a professor, and until the university found me and said, hey, guy, you can come over here and do what you're doing over there with us, because I created a project that was seeking to bridge the gap, communication gap between deaf children and their families. And for 5-6 years, I was doing that work at UNM until I said, okay, this is time to build my own thing. And in 2024, I created Omenka App. Omenka App is here. You can go to the next slide. Omenka App was created for the preservation and the promotion, mainly the preservation of my language. So as you can see me, I dress completely different from you all, right? That is who I am, because wherever I go, I want to represent who I am, my cultural identity, and I want to show what my business does, right? So without even you asking me, hey guy, where are you from? You're already like thinking, no, this guy is not from here, right? So, okay, I'm still from here as well, like you. So if I get out here and I can put up this and then maybe have another hat that looks like yours. So, but as an entrepreneur, I have been taught to look what I give to the people. So why did I create an app for my language? I am Igbo, I-G-B-O. Can you all say it, Igbo? I bet you cannot say it the way I'm saying it. Why? Because you don't speak the language, right? So I am Igbo, I come from Nigeria. Igbo people are found in the southeastern part of Nigeria. Nigeria is in West Africa. And why the Igbo people become a point of attraction in 2006 by UNESCO is something people still wonder about. But I'm going to tell you about that. Maybe you've not heard about it. The Igbo people are found to be one of the most traveled ethnic group in the world. They are everywhere, like virtually everywhere, including in Albuquerque, right? When I was coming to the United States, I didn't know anywhere that it was called Albuquerque. As a matter of fact, my people cannot still pronounce Albuquerque till today. So the question is, what the heck are you looking for in Albuquerque? The reason I am here today is because primarily I am Igbo. We do not fear to go anywhere that life calls. We do not fear to go anywhere that you are going to make a difference. So we don't just travel. We belong to the community. We make an impact. We become part of the community. We help in building the community. Okay, this is our strength. I know other people may have similar strength, but the downside. In 2006, UNESCO said, these people are traveling so much out of their land. If they continue to do this, soon they will completely get disconnected from their culture. The reason is because I live in the United States with my family. My children are here. If not the work I do, today my children wouldn't be speaking my language. And there are over 2 million Igbo speakers in the United States. And there are over 70 million Igbo people across the world. And most of these people are found outside of Nigeria. So you can imagine what will happen to the Igbo people very soon if nothing is done. UNESCO says this is their strength, but on the other hand, it is their weakness because people will continue to get disconnected from the culture. So I said, okay, I've been doing this for sign language for the past 10 years. Now my language is in a serious problem. I'm going to do something about it. I created Omenka App. The next slide. So Omenka App was created to put the language and the culture in a digital platform that will not just preserve it, but rather make it accessible. And Omenka App was also created to put fun in learning the language and culture so that someone will have an attraction in say, okay, let me see what is in here. And additionally, Omenka App became an urgent call for not just Igbo language, but every other culture, especially in the dispensation of generative AI that is, sweeping away what we used to know as human culture. And so I also use this opportunity this morning to challenge anyone and everyone. If you think what you know as your culture is in danger, your language is in danger, you can do the similar thing we're doing with Omenka App. So we are bringing the language and culture in a platform that is preservative and then as well as accessible. So today, an average family that is in the United States will have the app as a very easy access or platform for their children to plug in and get reconnected back with the culture. And that is why we are making Omenka App. The next slide. We are making Omenka App to have not just the language. It has virtual tours, it has cultural events, it has food, we have art gallery, we have just name it anything that you can think about the culture of a people. That's what we're putting in the app, and we're making it live. And then the question is, because we are looking at what is going to be the fate of our language and culture in the next 50 years? Now, the answer is here. When I was in the elementary and maybe middle and high school, I used to experience a lot of recreational activities, which my children are no longer able to experience today because they are in a different environment. What will happen to their children and going forward? And that is what Omenka App is in the next slide. And so today, because of the features that we put in the app, we are proudly saying Igbo language, just like over and above what UNESCO said, is no longer going to die. So we have brought back the language and culture by virtue of what we're doing, even though there's still so much work that we're about to do that we've not yet gotten to. But we are saying with the road work, with the plan we have already, the language and culture is already preserved. Now, why doing this? How can we also make this to become something that will be income generative? Because how do you work without eating? We bring in the community together. We are channeling the community to be a mobile community that can be accessed through our app. So if you have a business that you want to channel to my community, my app is a gateway for you. And Igbo people are very, very industrious. They are very business oriented. So any business that you channel towards Igbo people through my app is going to be boom, the next. Just like I said, the whole community of Igbo people, about 2 million of them that are here, get connected. Now, what are we doing here? And why do we need the community? Why do I come here to share my story? The work is huge. It's not something one person does. It needs the community. And the community we need, we start from where we are. We start from Albuquerque. I'm resident here. I am part of the community here. I've been promoting culture and language for the past 10 years that I've been in Albuquerque. And I need the community to help me in realizing my dream of not letting my culture to die. I don't know what the community can do for me, but I need to grow this vision and the business. And I need to grow this project so that my community will not be wiped away in the history of life. And let me tell you this as I begin to close. What that means is this. Have you imagined going to a school that you attended, a high school you attended 10 years after? And you get there, you go to the administrative office, you say, okay, I graduated here like 20 years ago, and my name is so. Can you just check my record over there? And they'll bring books. They open computers. They even open printers. They don't see your name. And not only that they don't see your name, they don't see anything that shows that you graduated from that school. How does it look? How does it feel? How does it sound? Strange, right? That's what happens when a language dies from the planet Earth, because it dies with a culture. And then they tell us, still UNESCO, that every 2 weeks, one minority language dies. Would you allow my language to be one of those that die? That means my name is Emmanuel, English, Ihechi, traditional, Asonye, traditional. My name will be wiped away. You won't remember me again. I know you wouldn't allow that, right? That's why I'm here today, to ask you that the work I do needs a lot of connection, networking, it needs encouragement, a pat on the back, doing this. It needs, okay, how about we talk about doing this for this other community and all of that? So that's what we do. And as I close, as I say, my community is here. We do a whole lot of cultural activities. And part of what we also offer in Omenka App is we offer trainings, we offer educational trainings on language and culture preservation. So we seek to train government agencies, company agencies, and all of that. So if we keep doing this, it will continue to strengthen us to do what we're doing for our community. So I appreciate you for listening to me and giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I will ask a question to lead us off, and then if anybody has questions, which I hope you do, come and stand over here. How can we help? Emmanuel, give me your real name.
Emmanuel Ihechi Asonye.
I say your first name again. Ihechi?
Ihechi, light of God.
Ihechi, which I guess is where Emmanuel comes from too.
Exactly.
Okay, so my question to you is, you've had this app for a while. Talk to us about how many people are using it now. Tell us a little bit about that, and then form a line and hold the mic like this. Make sure you introduce yourself when you come up to speak.
Thank you for the question.
Sure.
This is just exactly 1 year plus a few weeks. We launched the app in 2024 April, and we are happy to say that right now we are targeting about 5,000 users. The app has 2,000 plus users currently, both Igbo and non-Igbo people. And the app is available here. This is available. This is for iOS and Android. If you just scan this, boom, it takes you to the app.
Hi, I'm Paul Sauter with Equity. I'm interested in not only the loss of the language, but the loss of your stories, your narratives, and your wisdom. So you mentioned proverbs and riddles, and those are kind of brief to introduce. Could you give me one or two of your favorites?
Okay. So we have what we call riddles. We call it in our language, guam, guam, guam. Can you all say guam, guam, guam? Again? Okay, I'm going to tell you, guam, 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 ihe kuru mmiri la elu. What I said is that tell me what carried water and goes up. Something that has water and is up. In my culture, the answer is coconut. Right?
Yeah.
That's one of those.
Yeah.
So we have lots of these. And I want to tell you, my children don't know this. I have them, if I pass, that's the end of it for my family. And that's what happens to every family, Igbo family that is in the United States, Europe, and any other part of the world raising their children.
Thank you.
Morning, Ihechi.
Thank you.
My name is Erin McQuaid-Wright, and my company is Vitalist Coaching. I really noticed in your presentation how bright and sparkly you are as a person. So to find out your name means light of God is really, I also thought of this brightness and sparkliness when I was thinking of your people being such world travelers and noticing the light of your community spread out in the world. It's a beautiful imagery. And you talked about wanting through your app to preserve your culture and also to attract. And I wonder how you hold that. Is there a percentage that's about preservation and a percentage that's about attraction? And who are you trying to attract? Is it the next generation and the one after that? Or is it other people who see you bright and sparkling in the world, traveling? And one of the things that I have on my radar that I need to be very careful about and knowledgeable of as a white person is cultural appropriation. Taking from the culture of another is not something that I can do. So I'm curious about the preservation versus attraction and who you are trying to attract.
Thank you for the question. I'm sure you've been in an exam where you see an answer, the question, the answer is all of the above. Right? Yes. So the answer to your question is all of the above. Number one, the people, the generation of today, my Igbo generation, younger generation, Gen Z and all of that. You keep hearing that Gen Zs are turning the whole world upside down, right? Or maybe something new. Yes, if I do not make the app attractive to them, they're not going to use it. So we wake up today, the next thing on our hand is what? Our cell phone. The next thing we do, we open an app. What apps do you open first when you get to your phone? In my own community, one of the apps they open first is WhatsApp. It's not generally used in the United States by US people. We use it like for a bunch of things. So WhatsApp has been so attractive for my community. We host meetings, we do everything with it. So my target is to make the app so attractive that my child will open it today, will open her phone today. One of the first places they will visit is what? Omenka App, because there's something in there for them. Secondly, the app also appeals to foreigners. I just spoke my language to you, right? What if you want to learn more? Out of curiosity, what if you are a researcher? What if you are looking for data about Igbo people? One place you want to go is the Omenka app, whether on the website or on the mobile app itself. And again, like I mentioned, business. What if you are curious about who are these people? How can I direct, if you have business and you want to do international trade, one of the people you want to look out for in Nigeria, they are the Igbo people. So in terms of attraction, yes, I think we want to make the app to appeal to all and sundry.
I just want to say I'm proud of you, man. We've had conversations about the app and it was educational for me. So just want to say, hey, man, I'm proud to see you here. Now, along the lines, you know, we always talk business with me, right? So you mentioned the attraction. So as a business owner, if I were to invest, or if you would like someone to invest, can you give us an idea of the amount of people that utilize or that speak this language, first of all, not just in the United States, because I know there's a lot and I want you to say it out loud. There's millions. So give us an idea of what that looks like when you say your people, not just in the United States, but on a global scale, in which if I had a business, that would be more attractive to me, in which I may have the funding or may want to give you the funding for the app. So give us those numbers when it comes to being a business owner.
Thank you. And I must say that one of the reasons I'm here today is Mr. Ken. He says, hey, guy, got to show up. Keep showing up. And I'm here to show up today. Thank you. All right. Yes. Igbo people, they are large across the world, everywhere you go. And as I just said this, I was almost singing a song that if you Google it on YouTube, you'll hear it. Anywhere you go, if you know see man one name ulota, bam bam. What that means is that wherever you go, if you don't see any Igbo man, any Igbo person, life does not exist there. So across the world, our people are also very, very civilized in terms of the use technology. So our data shows, our preliminary data shows, there are over 60 million Igbo people who use technology, the internet, everywhere they go. And just like I said, they are spread across. And the other day in our meeting, we were looking at the pros and cons of social media. When I was asked to tell what social media means to my business, I said, I don't even know how I could have succeeded in my business without social media, right? Because social media gives me access to reach my people in the UK, in Scotland, in South Africa. And so it makes it very easy for anybody to channel a business through the app to reach Igbo people across the geographical locations. And I'm telling you, you are looking at over 60 million people.
That's the number we need. Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Miriam Ortiz-Pino, Northern Organized. I'm really fascinated by this. But I'm wondering if you have done anything marketing wise to reach those 60 million people in a very targeted thing that might be look a little bit like a partnership with the UN or government or NGO agencies that know where people have immigrated from your community that you like, I don't know, I kind of envision if they emigrate or go somewhere else, travel, that they are given along with their visa, the QR code that says, take your culture with you kind of thing. Is that something you've explored?
Thank you for the question. Yes, traditionally, right now, I'm using the traditional approach because I'm connected with the community, especially in the United States here. I'm very well connected with the community. Also back home, I'm very well connected with the community. So there's a group called World Igbo Congress. I am the PRO of World Igbo Congress. At least it brings a bunch of people around once in a year. And like I mentioned, WhatsApp, almost every cultural group, that is Igbo has a WhatsApp group. So these groups, I push information through them, and the social media, I target Igbo people everywhere. I'm doing that, but I also will tell you, I'm learning.
Yeah.
There's still so much more and so much different ways we can, diversify our approach towards this. Yes, so I'm open, very much open to, collaborate with a whole lot of different communities. But, the messaging is where the issue is. You're going to have to package this in a way, attraction again comes in, that somebody will listen to you. Igbo people are very well educated. You may have heard that, Nigerians are the most educated in the US and all of those. If you go to that bubble, Igbo people occupy over 70% of that. That is because we were raised to just go to school, as if going to school is a profession. And nobody told us why we're going to school, just education. And families, 7 kids are not school and all of, so we went to school. And so people are doing a whole lot of things. There are other people doing similar things, but not the approach I'm using. So I'm looking at my messaging. How do I package my message to let my people know that what I'm doing is not just any other platform that possibly teaches language like Duolingo and all of those. I am talking about culture preservation. And one way to do this is to document it and put it in an accessible platform. For me, that's what Omenka App means.
Yeah, I love that. It also occurs to me that partnering with, or at least informing and a little bit of marketing to genealogical societies and cultural exchange programs might be really interesting as well.
Exactly.
And then potentially licensing your kind of framework, because I loved that framework of with the riddles and the idioms and the language and the culture and the art and all that, like licensing the framework to other cultures that are experiencing the same thing.
Yes.
Might be an interesting approach as well in the future.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I have really been speaking with the Native Americans, the Navajo, the Diné community here. about doing similar thing in some parts of their culture and language. And so I'm open to collaborate. I'm open to, have work together.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're gonna take a question online. Phil, do you want to unmute?
Hi, good morning. My name
Morning.
is Phil Wilton. Executive Outcomes, Reorganizing Organizations Through Simple Strategic Planning. You said earlier in your presentation you have 2,000 users and then you said 5,000 users. So I wanted to get a little bit of clarity there. Before you answer the question, one of the things that I studied in and did my master's in was international business. And culture, ethics, and norms is a big part of when you travel around the world. And I've been fortunate enough to travel around all the world and work in Asia, all across Europe and all across the US. And I've traveled quite a lot in Africa as well. I love doing safaris in Africa. So going back to those users, who are those users? Are they, you said a phrase just now, let my people know. Are these users the 2,000 and the 5,000 or what are they? Can you clear that?
Yes, I said currently we are over 2,000. We have over 2,000 users on the app, targeting 5,000 very soon. That's where the two numbers came in. And those users are a conglomeration of, a variety of people. When I started working with students, and then I penetrated into some of the higher universities back home. This app has been launched in about two higher institutions like colleges. And then we are targeting to launch it again in about 3 more before the end of this year. So this puts the app in the hands of professors, students who are being part of the cohorts and research community that I am developing. And again, also using my other network, cultural networks, through our WhatsApp groups where I share information, users also get attracted to that. So basically, I would say 90% of those users are Igbo speakers currently.
All right. And are you looking solely to just get in the peoples from your communities, or are you looking to try and open up your culture to the likes of me and the people sitting in the room there?
Exactly. It is all about the interest. So wherever I find myself, the message is what determines who you want to talk to or what you want to achieve. So I am very open. Our culture is not a secret. The only thing we know is that elderly people are custodians of knowledge. In my culture, there's no way, there's nothing that will make me think of disrespecting you if you have carried yourself, for instance, eligibly, like as a gentleman before me, because I respect the wisdom that you carry, as opposed to some other culture where that is not really emphasized. So in my culture, we emphasize respect according to age. And when you have attained some certain age, we regard you as a custodian of wisdom and that you are in a position to ensure that that wisdom and knowledge of culture is passed down. Outside of that, our culture is open to everybody to learn. That is why I'm very happy to make this kind of clothes for you. So that in any occasion we appear, you appear like me. It gives me joy. I'm very happy to tell you the reason I'm wearing this. And just so you know, if you do anything from whatever geographic location you are that impacts an Igbo community, maybe it's missionary or charity or whatever, a few years later, you decide to travel to Nigeria and you want to go to Igbo land. Before you get there, they have arranged to make you a chieftain. You're going to be surprised. They're going to initiate you into the community and accept you as one of their sons in another land. That's how we do.
Yeah, I fully understand that because I come from the UK. I lived in Scotland. People think it's the same place. It's not. I lived in Munich in Germany. I've lived in the US. I've traveled around a number of states in the US, and they're all different. To me, the US isn't one country, it's 50 countries in one place. I've traveled across the Asia Pacific region in Singapore, Japan, Taiwan, China, and I know that culture is important. What I think you're doing is important, and I think it's important for you and for your people, and I think you should get it out there. But my questions are kind of more in the business area, like how do you make the app attractive? What value is that app? What value are you putting on the app that gets people to want to have a look at you and your particular culture? Um, and how are you going to make money from that?
Okay, all right. So we have B2B's approach to the app, whereby companies can put their ad that is channeled to the Igbo people or the general users on the app. That is number one thing we are doing. We are providing research data for institutions like that are doing work in culture and language. So Igbo people provides a lot of data in terms of that. We are also providing data, business data. For one of the things we're doing, like the approach is documentation. So we are documenting a kind of the set of businesses that are owned by Igbo people everywhere in the world. So much that you want to know, you hear about one Igbo millionaire and you say, okay, how do I approach this person and all of that? The data is in the app. So we are providing such a data that will be attractive to any business to use, especially, ad and other information. That is number one. We are providing education as well. Language education, like I talked about training, government agencies and companies. So we are providing a wider variety education on culture and language preservation, not just necessarily Igbo. We can say, because we have done this successfully to preserve our language and make it accessible, how about you take up the challenge for your own community, for your own culture, or even if it's not yours, you want to help another community do that, and you are an entrepreneur, you and your company want to do that, we can train your staff and all of that. So we can work with you to enter the community and do what we're doing with Omenka.
Yeah, I'd like to have a look at your app. So maybe you could put some links in the chat for me, and or if you've got a website, and have a look at it. But thank you. I think what you're doing is valuable. I think you've got a challenge trying to get it out there.
Exactly. Thank you.
Clifton Chadwick, Comunicaciones Cocapelli. One question, do you have the means for members of the Igbo community to contribute on the app? Is there since you're trying to make certain that part of this is about the culture, do you have an opportunity for your diaspora to share stories or something like that would increase their motivation to use the app?
So currently we are, if I tell you what I have in my head I want to do is crazy. We are going towards translating every published work, every work published by an Igbo person into the app. This is my work, published on Amazon, and very soon the translation will start. We have currently signed a contract with two individuals to publish their book in Igbo language. So they are giving it free. So we are documenting published and unpublished works of Igbo people, whether it's written in Igbo or in English. We turn it in Igbo and publish it in multimedia platform, put in audio and video. That is number one. Number two, we are approaching Igbo people, custodians of wisdom, to get their knowledge about riddles, proverbs, and all whatnot. We've been putting up calls. Number three, we are approaching artists. Right now, very soon, we're going to put art gallery, and we're going to customize it that if you are an artist, you can showcase your art on the app, and people can purchase your art through our app. And so whatever work you are doing that relates to Igbo people, we want to put it on the app. I think that's the approach we're using.
So that sounds like it's behind the wall stuff. You're going to make arrangements, you're going to put it on the app. if I'm a member of your community, is there a way I can push a button on the app and just have a little communication with other members of the community that are using the app?
There you go. The social media aspect of the app is going to be launched in the next week. And the target is to create that community. The original plan of work is to have what we call virtual community for the Igbo people, just like we use WhatsApp and all of that. Yes, we have that.
Then, my next suggestion is that you've got a diaspora across the United States. So does Million Cups. Huh. I think you should be presenting in all of the cities, and you might want to see if there's data on where your population is best represented, and make this same presentation to group after group. Congratulations.
I bet you, I've been traveling around.
We're gonna take another one online. Oriana, do you want to unmute and ask your question?
Yes, I just wanted to thank you for this presentation. I have downloaded the app and look forward to using it more. I am interested, I forgot, I think you said it was 60. I was wondering how many Igbo people you said are out there in the market?
Over 60 million.
Over 60 million. Okay, thank you. And I was also wondering what other languages are on the main focus coming up. I know Igbo's the first one, and I was wondering what is on the next forefront.
Thank you, Oriana. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we are looking to, so that is going to be determined by the communities themselves. So whatever community that is interested in doing similar things, we'll work with them and put their language on the app. And today, one of the things I'm looking at is to do something around the Swahili community that is in Albuquerque, especially as it relates to health and wellness. That is a plan that is still, evolving a little bit. But before we get into maybe expanding to put other languages, we cannot just determine without knowing that a community is interested in saying, okay, what you're doing here is awesome. Can we do this in our own, community or for our own language and culture? That will be the determining factor.
Awesome. So they could just reach out to you, and then the demand will make it.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ariana. Thank you.
Thank you.
Manuel, great to meet you, sir. Thank you for sharing your story. That was amazing to hear. Sounds like you've been working very hard, and I have to say the app that you've created is amazing. It has almost unlimited potential when you talk about not just helping your culture, but opening up just the framework and the platform that you've built so that other cultures can do the same in preserving their history and their stories. I think could go well beyond 500K, it could go million, 5 million, 10 million, who knows? I'm curious if there is any inspiration from any other kind of developers that you've learned from modeling your app.
That's an interesting question. Yeah, I have been trying to, here in Albuquerque, expand my network. And of course, that is also why I am here today, right? And I have also had talks with Mr. Kane, who has a whole lot of resources. I was at the UNM Rainforest and also the Innovate New Mexico. And I was at the other club where I met Sydney that brought me to. All right. So, yeah. So I am like a mobile company right now. I'm on 4 wheels. Wherever opportunity calls, I want to be there for the reason that I have a story to share. And a story that is me. So if you value me as a human being, this is my story. And I believe I should share with you. So for other tech groups, I have been talking a little bit with the UN community and getting some little connections, but it has not really established a huge networking or maybe collaboration. I am very much open to all of those.
Okay, well, I'm happy because I get to give you one more, and they're part of UNM. It's called Project Echo.
Oh, I've heard about it.
You've heard of Echo?
Yes.
So they started here and are headquartered here, but are now global. And what Echo does is open up just lines of communication across the world so that underserved communities can get access to medical care. And just the way that they were able to scale that operation is something that I think, you might be able to implement in your app.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, I'm Kenneth Hingham from Kenneth Hingham Consulting, and I do cybersecurity work. So my question that I'm going to ask you is, have you thought about the security of your app? The reason being that with 60 million people, if I was an attacker, I would be going, cool, I can use you to attack 60 million people and get stuff from those 60 million people. And that's not the only thing I can see as a possible problem. So I'm just curious if you had thought about cybersecurity and sort of how that has been a part of what you've done.
I think that falls under risk assessment, right?
Yes.
So as a company, yes, we are assessing the risk. What if this happens? What if so? Right now, I mentioned that the social media aspect of the app is being created. So we've been looking at, okay, so what are the things we are going to make to become community-based, like user-based, whereby users are going to contribute? So we look at the risks about when users are going to contribute. How do we censor, quote unquote, or rather, how do we control what they put without really censoring, and all of those? And how do we also fish out, all of this? Yes, we have. I think is one of the things on our table because we know we are expanding. So what do we do when we become a point of attraction? Yeah.
Okay, good. That was.
Thank you.
Okay, so one of the things we do here at 1 Million Cups is we try and keep everything within a time limit. I realize we started a little late today, so I may be cutting your time a little short on this end. But my encouragement is please, 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 everybody, meet with him after the fact. You're not leaving right away, right?
I'm here.
You're not traveling
No.
immediately. No, okay, good, just sticking around. I meant to get you this earlier. Sorry, it's maybe the end of your presentation. So we have two final questions here at 1 Million Cups. Well, I'll actually do three. Real quick answer. Someone's online saying, are there any events that you have coming up right now here in the Albuquerque area? We'll do meetings and events, so make sure you tell us about that when we get there. But our two questions are, what's one thing that this community can do for you today? That's the first question.
They have done one already, which is listening to me passionately. And I appreciate you for that. One other thing I think is to do what I heard that you are good at doing, which is networking. And whatever connection that you feel that might be useful to what I do, please do not withhold it from me. And support whatever way our company needs money to scale and to do a whole lot of things. Whatever that is, that means, please reach out. I'm here. I am not shy taking a token.
Okay, good. I think we know that about you. Yes. All right. And then the second question is, it's a New Mexico question, red or green? You've been here.
Both.
Okay.
I always do both. I don't know why.
That's okay. Very good. Thank you so much. Please give me a round.